Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. All right guys, so you probably told, you know by the title down there what we're gonna do today, but you know what? This one caught me off guard. Check it out. All right. You can probably tell by the large pile of boxes over here what I have been doing for the last couple of days, which is modifying HDP 50s and TR 50s. I ran into something a couple months ago that it's almost insignificant, but I want to make sure that you guys are very much aware of this. Now, this is the factory valve for the HDP 50, excuse me, the TR 50 Gen 2, okay? So the ones that just came out. Now, as most of you guys probably know, they're shipping some of these right now without valve blocks in them, and they're shipping some with the half moon valve block in them. And I believe this one actually has the half moon block. Let me take a look at that. And actually this one's got the full block. So you can see that one's actually shipping with the full block, but this is the Gen 2 launcher. So with that full block like that, you're probably looking at the 7.5 joule version. The half moon block gets you about 16 joules. Knock the whole thing out, you're gonna be up to about 20. But that's not what I wanna show you. Now, this is a Gen 2 valve, guys, and once you knock the block out, look in the bottom of it. You guys see those three little markers down there, little pins that are sticking out? And hopefully you're getting a good view of that with Stumpy. This is what threw me off. This is the new Gen 2 valves that they have been sending me that I use to upgrade and mod the launchers. Now I know for a fact what I'm getting out of these. I know I'm getting 20 joules out of these things without a problem. Now when these come to me from them, they also have the valve blocks in them, but typically before I ship them out to you guys, I knock the valve blocks out, all right? Now, here's where this gets strange. If you look at this valve and this valve, cosmetically, they're identical, right? Right down to the serial number on them. They are the exact same valve. But when you get into the bottom of them, this is one thing I'm going to show you. The first thing you're going to notice, see how it's got that little, the CO2 restrictor pre-installed in there? That is a threaded CO2 restrictor. On the stock ones that are coming on these things, it's actually got that, the one where you would tap in a CO2 restrictor. This is big. The reason it's big is because, number one, the new valves that I've got that we're shipping out to everybody that has got the CO2 restrictor in them, especially for the TR50, means that you can do a full power mod out of the box without a power kit because the restrictor is already in there. That's a big deal. If you're using this valve, in other words, if you've got a Gen 1 or a Gen 2 TR50 that you bought OEM, like you bought it on Amazon or anywhere else that you bought it, and you want to go ahead and upgrade it to knock the valve block out, to get the power and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have that CO2 restrictor, let me tell you what happens. You pull the trigger and it goes, and you're out of CO2. You have to have that restrictor. Now, this is a universal thing that I have seen on every single Gen 2 launcher, from the 68 all the way to the TR50, all the way to the HDP 50 and the compact. All of the Gen 2 valves have got this exact same thing. Internally, they've got the 3 pins, but they have no restrictor installed, all right? All of the Gen 2 valves that I have been buying directly and sending out to customers or modifying launchers with have got the CO2 restrictor in them. Honestly, it is not going to make a huge difference as far as power goes, although I will tell you, I have seen a marked difference in power between the ones that I've been getting from them directly and the ones that they're currently installing in Gen 2s. I don't have an explanation for that, unless the inner walls of this thing are just thicker and they're not allowing as much pressure into the chamber. But other than that, as you can see, they're cosmetically identical. And yes, before somebody asks, the new Gen 2 valves are actually threaded. I did snap another one of them off to find out myself. So, identical except for the internal build of that one part, which is kind of a big deal, and the fact that I'm getting a little more power out of these. These are TR50s, but I ran into the exact same thing with the HDP 50 while I was doing these mods, which is what kind of prompted me to want to go ahead and jump in and do this video for you guys. So, the crux of this is, if you get one of the Gen 2 TR50s and you want to do a mod on it, you're going to need to get the either the actual disc itself, the CO2 restrictor that taps in, or you're going to have to get the whole power kit. But all honesty, guys, it is cheaper to buy the complete valve, the Gen 2 valve that actually has the built-in restrictor, than it is to buy the power kit. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the mods on these things. The other thing I want to let you guys know, if you have ever done a mod on these, particularly with the power kit, and you've got your bolt out and you're trying to get the firing pin out and you strip it, the game is not over, okay? Very simple solution to that, 6mm socket. Put it onto it, tap it down onto it, and then unscrew it after you heat it up. So heat it up, tap it down, unscrew it. No big deal. Just make sure that if you do get a power kit, especially if it's one of the power kits that you get on eBay, don't use that firing pin. It's not going to thread in right. You're going to cross thread it. You're going to bend it. It's not going to work. You're going to destroy your bolt. Please be careful about that. And the truth is, with firing pins, I found that it doesn't make much difference. Honestly, if you use theirs, you use the stock one, you gain maybe a jewel or two tops. It really isn't worth messing with, to be honest with you. So, but this was big. I wanted to make sure that you guys knew all valves are not created equal. They're not. They are different, even though they're Gen 2 valves. So keep that in mind. Guys, have a fantastic Christmas. I may not talk to you till afterwards, but I really appreciate you hanging out with me this year. It's been a pretty big year, hasn't it? And it's going to be even bigger. I have got stuff lined up at SHOT Show I can't even tell you about yet, but you're going to love it. And that's coming up in just a couple of weeks, but I'll see you before that anyway. So I'm going to tell you, the next video I'm doing is going to be the gavel against the Pistel 68. Now, look, we all have strong feelings on this, okay? You will never, I'm not a fanboy. You're never going to see me jump on board of a launcher so much to where I would not report its, goods and its bads. I'm going to tell you everything, and then you will make the decision. My job is to give you all your information. Your job is to make your decision to pick up the launcher you like. So this is going to be factually based from beginning to end. Pistel 68 versus the gavel. My opinions will come in as far as how they feel, weight-wise, build quality, all that kind of stuff. But that is the next video, and people have been asking for it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one done for you. So have a great weekend, guys, and a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.